Westfalanapus is one of the most beloved and best received Cars diecasts of 2023. In fact, when I did my Best Cars of the Year Viewers' Choice list a few weeks ago, the Westfalanapus won first place out of all of the new releases from 2023. This one was number one, and while I'm really not the biggest fan of these dinosaur cars, I can't say I don't understand why this guy is so beloved. This is one incredible looking diecast. It's incredibly show accurate, its details are just on point, looks absolutely perfect when compared to the model. They really knocked it out of the park with this one. They've really been knocking it out of the park with so many of these Cars on the Road diecasts, and I think another big reason as to why this is so beloved is because it's a larger vehicle being sold as a single. It's one of the few deluxes we got last year, where of course we got no deluxes. The deluxe line was not a thing in 2023, it's not a thing again this year, but that allowed us to get several larger characters as singles, and I think a lot of people really like this item purely because this is, something that any other year would have been a deluxe, and it's really not all that big. You can see it compared to Fillmore. they're pretty close together in size. It is, however, on a larger sized bubble than your average single right now. As you can see, this definitely would have been released as a deluxe any other year. Unfortunately, despite the fact that this was such a well-received diecast, it was not very easy to find. It was not easy to get your hands on this. It still kinda isn't. Of course, we've had this whole Walmart gets half-sized cases in debacle, which is usually okay in my opinion, but sometimes these Walmart half cases are missing new releases, and the Westfalanapus, in like the one case it was in last year, was not in the Walmart version of the case. All of last year, nearly every Target all across the US was very far behind with the stock they were getting in, so it was nearly impossible to find the Westfalanapus. In order to find the Westfalanapus, you either had to get lucky here in the US and find a Target that wasn't selling year-old stock, or you had to look in stores that get in full cases that aren't Walmart's, that aren't Targets. You would have to look at other stores, like maybe grocery stores or local toy stores, and while that problem has somewhat been fixed, and I've actually seen the Westfalanapus case in Target, albeit with the Westfalanapus missing, and Targets have been catching up more recently, I actually found this guy and the other exclusive from his case, Cryptid Buster Mater, at a local toy store where I was able to finally pick him up. It's still surreal that I finally have this in hand, but I'm very, very happy to. Hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Westfalanapus, an item that I just kind of accepted I would probably never get. This guy was going for so much online, and, I'd accepted that I probably wasn't going to get him. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of these dinosaur cars, and while everyone loves the Westfalanapus, I was okay with not having him. I was a little bummed out, but, I was shocked to finally get my hands on him at a local toy store. Like I said, as you can see, he's new for 2023. Unfortunately, despite his rarity, they're not bringing him back for 2024. Quite disappointing, although, you know how far ahead they plan these things. I'm sure, honestly, if Mattel knew the Westfalanapus was going to be hard to get your hands on, they would have reissued him for 2024. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, despite the fact that the Quadrotorchosaur and Cryptid Buster Mater both return this year. Our old buddy Westy did not. Anyway, love this artwork here. It's actually not what it looks like in the show. In the show, we only ever see the Westfalanapus as a statue, and this artwork represents it as if it were actually alive, as you can see. As seen in Cars on the Road, we got Adam Rodriguez, Mateo, Road Rumbler Mater, Niall Speedcone, Griswold, and the Quadrotorchosaur. I've reviewed all of these, except the Quadrotorchosaur, which I do have, but I have not opened yet. I found its 2024 re-release. Anyway, let's pop this guy open. Oh, wow, this is heavy. All right. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, he's so funny. So here's the Westfalanapus out of the package. You know I like an item when I start laughing when I open it, right? Wow, yeah, this guy looks good. He looks a little awkward. Bit of a goofy design going on. I feel like he needs rear view mirrors in order to look right. There's just something missing in this general area, and I think that's kind of the shaping. It kind of goes upwards, kind of like a trapezoidal shape. But man, knocked it out of the park on this one. I don't honestly really like the design all that much. Like I said, I feel like it's missing something here. I feel like it's very cobbled together. You know, they. I don't know. I don't know. I think the Quadratorchosaur does car dinosaur better. And I know the joke with the Westfalanapus is that it's a dino van. McQueen literally says that, but it literally just looks like a van with dinosaur parts on it. I would have preferred a bit of a more outlandish design, something to show that, oh, well, the characters of the Cars universe evolved from this, more so than just thing that pretty closely resembles a van with rocks and pipes and caveman mouth on it, you know? I don't know. Is that a hot take? Just my personal opinion. I love this facial expression, though. And I absolutely love this bottom bumper with the little teeth sticking out. You can see his mouth behind it, just like how many Cars characters over the years have had their mouths by their bumpers. You can see he's got his big old teeth and then the mouth behind that. And man, that looks so good. It does make me wonder how he chews. Because the teeth are not lined up with the mouth. And there's actually another row of teeth in there. So maybe he's fine. But I cannot understate how good all of this looks. Look at this. The corrosion, the rust. For years I've been saying that Thailand's rust detailing is really, really impressive. I think back to like 2019 when Jenny Toland came out. I was so impressed by how Thailand pulls off rust detailing, and I still am every single time. Say what you want about Thailand, but I think the way they handle rust will always look better than older Made in China releases. We got some great mud splattered all over. Just the mud all over him. Very, very, like, meticulously, although still kind of randomly placed. You can see this whole part is kind of a plate, according to the packaging, kind of a rusted plate, which turned out pretty good here on the diecast. You've got, I guess you could say, fenders, maybe, on the side, alongside more really, really solid muddy detailing. The wheels look great. I wish they were a bit more rock-like, like the other ones. But they still look really good. You got these really funny panels or plates all across the side. Of course, in universe, they're just supposed to be large rocks representing panels the roof of a van would have. And they're very strangely shaped. And I love that they're just jammed into the roof, you know? This isn't a modification a car put on itself. This is what this car looks like. This is part of it. These rocks are part of its mold, and I almost forgot about his little horn. Speaking of things that are just a part of this guy, that of course is a rubber piece. These on the side are rubber pieces. These also rubber pieces. Taking a look at the back, I really like how the back turned out here. More mud splashing details. Just the application of the mud detailing is some of the best I think I've ever seen on a Cars diecast. Look at this. It's in between the panels. Insane. Insanely well done. There's a look to the other side. You can see its little exhaust. And there is a look at the base. So yeah, no complaints. No complaints. You guys are right. This is a great release. Not a personal favorite of mine still, but that, like I said, comes from the fact that I'm just not the biggest fan of these dinosaur cars, and I'm not a big fan of this design in particular. But in terms of translating the design to the diecast, in terms of the detailing and the accuracy and everything, this is a really, really stellar release. If you can get your hands on this guy, pick him up. I'm sure you'll like him. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.